Our first question is a super chat coming from El Robo Rick. $5 super chat, by the way. El Robo, I appreciate you. It says, comparing Melo to past and present NBA players, what is Melo's floor and what is Melo's ceiling? So LaMelo Ball, not Carmelo Anthony. I think Carmelo Anthony has hit his ceiling long ago. So we'll talk about kind of LaMelo Ball's floor and really what his ceiling is. Listen, I do believe, I'm a big believer in LaMelo Ball. In fact, I think he is legit. There are people that say he's going to be a bust. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think his passing ability and his overall size makes him, honestly, a great player, and it will make him a great player in the NBA. Want to talk about his floor? I'm going to say Ricky Rubio. Worst case scenario, he's Ricky Rubio 2.0. He's a pass-first point guard. That's kind of a veteran leader among teams when he gets down the road. I think that's pretty solid. I would be pretty happy with that. His ceiling, oh man, it's a Jason Kidd-esque guy, a bigger point guard, pass first, that can score and finish around the rim with a bit of a question about his jump shot, right? I think that's pretty good for LaMelo Ball. So ceiling, Jason Kidd-esque. Floor, Ricky Rubio. I think either way, he is worth the second overall pick. Heck, he might even be worth the first overall pick if it weren't the Minnesota Timberwolves picking at number 1. So I'm high on LaMelo Ball. I don't know about you guys. Hey, Jimmy, do you see the Warriors getting a veteran like Jae Crowder? You know, the problem is the Warriors don't really have the cap space to go out and get a guy like Jae Crowder. Like, I would like to believe that Crowder is going to go for the veterans minimum or the mid-level, but there's rumors that the Miami Heat are willing to pay him a little bit more. So I don't know if he's going to be willing to really sit back and take that. One guy that I think they could get that is willing to take less money is Danilo Gallinari. I do think they could potentially get him and get a scoring guy off the bench, but I think Jae Crowder might get a little bit more, demand a little bit more than the Warriors are able to pay. But if you want to keep up with all things Warriors and keep up with all things free agency, make sure you go subscribe to youtube.com/Warriors TV. Best Warriors coverage on YouTube. You don't want to miss it. So I do want you guys to pick one player you would rather build around right now. Type GA for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Type LD for Luka Doncic. And you know what? I'm typing my LD for Luka Doncic. I know Giannis is the MVP of the league. But going forward, I'd be typing my LD for Luka Doncic. Just like I see Jeff O'Baller, Isaiah Six, and Lindsey Norman all in the live chat doing. That's the way to go. If you have a young player like that, personally, I'm typing LD for Luka Doncic. And speaking of Luka Doncic, we got a super chat from Maverick Mike asking us a question about the Dallas Mavs. It says, Oladipo, LaVine, or Spencer Dinwiddie for the Dallas Mavericks? Ooh, interesting question, and obviously very topical because Kevin O'Connor's latest piece had these three guys as potential trade targets for the Dallas Mavericks this offseason. Listen, the Mavs don't have a lot of pieces to trade right now with guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. potentially available via trade, Jalen Brunson potentially available via trade, but outside of that, it's not a lot of trade chips. So when you look at these three guys that are elite offensive players, even though Oladipo's obviously taken a hit, it might be tough to acquire one, but if you're asking me one that I'd rather have than the other two, I'm going to go with Victor Oladipo of the Indiana Pacers. I know he's coming off a major injury, but let me tell you why. I'm not going to go with Zach LaVine because he's 25. He's just now kind of getting that taste of what it looks like to be the main guy in Chicago. I'm not sure he's ready to accept a third-person role on the Dallas Mavericks behind Porzingis and Luka Doncic. When you look at Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a fine player, but I think Brooklyn really values him because he's insurance for Kyrie Irving. And I don't think the Mavs are going to be willing to – I'm not giving up, I will say, for Tim Hardaway Jr. for Spencer Dinwiddie. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Not going to do it for a guy that only shot 30% from three. So Oladipo is a guy who wants to win right now, and if he is healthy, he's a better defender than the other two, and his peak was already higher than the other two as well. So personally, I'd go with Victor Oladipo. Who do you think the best fit for the Dallas Mavericks is this offseason? Trade for Victor Oladipo, trade for Zach LaVine, or trade for Spencer Dinwiddie? Here's the one thing about Oladipo also, besides him just probably being the best fit overall, is the fact that he's probably the cheapest of the three as well. I don't know what Chicago values LaVine at. I think Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be overvalued from the Nets. So let me know in the chat, in the comment section, which one you'd rather have for the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go to Daryl Grant. Says, do you? He actually yelled this at me. Do you, Miami Heat, should trade for Russell Westbrook? No. No. Because it'd probably take a Tyler Hero or a Bam Adebayo. Don't do that. Don't do that. You just got to the NBA Finals with your team. Don't blow up the chemistry. I'm afraid Russell Westbrook and Jimmy Butler would not mix. I think Jimmy Butler is one of the best teammates I've seen with people. I know people love him inside the organization, and I think Russell Westbrook could kind of disrupt that a little bit. I'm saying absolutely not. Plus, you know what else it does? It takes the Miami Heat out of the running for guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2021 because Russell Westbrook is getting paid the whole Brinks truck. So, no, Miami should not trade for Russell Westbrook, even if they do have the pieces to do it. I'm out on that idea, but I appreciate the question, Daryl. I'm also going with an NBA mask because it's time to wear one, and we're going to probably get back into NBA stadiums here pretty soon. And when that happens, you're going to have to wear one of these cool masks, and you can find them at this link right here, chatsports.com/NBA mask. Super simple, super easy way to find them. You can get as many as 3 or 4. So that way, if you lose 1, guess what? You still have 3. Or if you lose 2, you still have 2. Or guess what? If you lose 3, you still have 1. So go get yours today at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Yeah, I do math too, believe it or not, guys. So go pick yours up today. Go rep your favorite team with our friends over at Fanatics. Best place to find them. And also, new styles coming out basically every single week. So go check them out. They're up to 30% off for a limited time. You're going to want to make sure you get yours today to rep your favorite team while staying safe all the time at chatsports.com/NBA mask. Let's go to Jared again. It says Pat Bev, Lou Will, Landry Shamet, and picks for Russell Westbrook. I mean, I would do that if I'm the Clippers. I think it's worth it because you still hold on to Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Problem is, I don't think the Rockets do it because they've already had Pat Bev, they've already had Lou Will, and the picks are non-existent. That's the problem. Celtics, or the Clippers, do not have draft picks because they traded all of those away to get Paul George. However, if Paul George and Russell Westbrook were like, heck yeah, I want to play together again, yes, you do this trade 100 times out of 100. Sure, you suffer some depth, but when you get to the playoffs, and we saw this happen already, when you get to the playoffs, especially to the end, your rotation shrinks down to about 7 or 8 of your best players. And if your top 5 players include Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Russell Westbrook, your top 3 players include those 3, you're going to be just fine. Lou Will, defensive liability. Landry Shamet, defensive liability. Pat Bev, overrated as a whole, and they don't have draft picks. So the Clippers, yeah, they say yes. Rockets, probably say no, thank you. Now, if you guys subscribe to Chat Sports, I got to know because a lot of times we have you guys, a lot of people that watch, but they're not subscribed, and I'm like, what are you doing? So if you are subscribed, scroll on down, type sub in the comment section, or if you're watching live with us right now in the live chat, type SUB if you have subscribed. And if you haven't already, youtube.com/chatsportstv. It's right there. We have all the best coverage, and we have it a lot. Like, literally, it is NBA Palooza. So you got to make sure you turn on your notifications as well. That way, you get notified. You get a little ping every single time we have a brand new video. We've got new videos coming out every 3 hours on the hour. So make sure you tune in. And sometimes we have 4 to 5 videos a day. And that's a lot of videos, a lot of time for you to catch up. Trust me. You're going to want to make sure you subscribe and hit those notifications. That link, it's right here, youtube.com/chatsportstv. I'm trying to think of a trade that would work. It obviously has to include the number 1 pick because it just has to at this point. But then other than that, here's the problem. The Rockets want to stay competitive. And with the Rockets to stay competitive, you have to trade back someone that can help them contribute right now. Timberwolves don't have a whole lot of that, right? Unless they trade D'Angelo Russell or Karl-Anthony Towns, and they're not going to do that. So I don't think the Timberwolves have the pieces to do it. I just don't think number 1 is going to end up getting it done, but I appreciate the question, ya boy Marmar. Felipe Baruzzi says, what teams reportedly are interested in picking James Wiseman? So good draft question there. We'll also have a draft Q&A coming up later as well. The Warriors are interested. The Timberwolves apparently have interest, but they're really not going to take him number 1 overall with Karl-Anthony Towns. Listen, at the end of the day, I think James Wiseman's overrated. I'm sorry. I said it. I don't think he's as good as advertised. Athletically and as an athlete as a whole, yeah, he's very gifted. He's incredible. He's a very strong guy. But he's not the NBA center that you want in today's game with a lot of versatility. So I would not take him probably over, actually I definitely wouldn't take him over Onyeka Okongwu. Now there's another team, the Charlotte Hornets. I think the Hornets are the team that will end up drafting him with that number 3 pick, but it just has to remain to be seen. But at the end of the day, guys, James Wiseman, not as good as advertised.